Hello and welcome back to the Tutoring Pros channel. In this video, we're going to be going over how to convert fractions into decimals. This is a topic that we're honestly going to be using for the rest of our lives, so make sure that you pay attention and watch the video till the very end. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel for more math content. In order to convert a fraction into a decimal, we need to divide the numerator by the denominator. So normally when we're going to divide two numbers, we build this house, and then the number on top is what goes on the inside, and the number on the bottom is what goes on the outside. So you have to ask yourself, how many times does 4 go into 3? The answer there is 4 goes into 3 0 times. So 4 times 0 is 0, and then we'll go ahead and subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3, and then since we're in the same spot that we were in previously, we need to now add a decimal point. And we're going to write a 0 there, and we're going to drop that 0. Now we're going into the decimals. This is what happens when the numerator is smaller than the denominator. You will always have a 0 point something. So next the question is, how many times does 4 go into 30? And the answer here is that 4 goes into 30 7 times. 4 times 7 is going to be 28. So we can go ahead and subtract. 30 minus 28 is going to be 2. And then we'll continue the process. We're going to add a 0 here and extend our house. We're going to drop this 0. How many times does 4 go into 20? And the answer is 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20. And when we subtract, we're going to get 0. So 3 over 4 as a decimal is going to be 0.75. Number 2, 4 divided by 5. We're going to do the same thing we did in number 1. We're going to build the house, and we're going to write the numerator on the inside and the denominator on the outside. You have to ask yourself, how many times does 5 go into 4? 5 goes into 4 0 times. 5 times 0 is 0. When we subtract 4 and 0, we're going to get 4. And at this point, we'll add a decimal. We're going to drop this 0. And we have to ask ourselves, how many times does 5 go into 40? And the answer there is 8. 5 times 8 is 40. And here we can subtract 40 by 40 and we end up with 0. So 4 divided by 5 is going to be 0.8. Number 3, 4 divided by 7. Once again, we're going to write the numerator inside of the box, and we're going to write the denominator on the outside. 7 goes into 4 0 times. And then we're going to proceed with adding the decimals. We're going to go ahead and drop that first 0 and ask ourselves, how many times does 7 go into 40? 7 goes into 40 5 times. 7 times 5 is going to be 35. When we subtract that, we're going to get 5. We can add another 0 and drop it. 7 goes into 50 7 times. 7 times 7 is going to be 49. And when we subtract 50 and 49, we get 1. This is a good enough spot to stop, although we can keep going if we add another 0. Number 4, 2 divided by 13. We're going to put the 2 inside of the house, and we're going to put the 13 on the outside. How many times does 13 go into 2? 13 goes into 2 0 times. And then 0 times 13 is going to be 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. And then once we get to this point, we can add the decimal and then drop that first 0. Now we need to ask ourselves, how many times does 13 go into 20? 13 goes into 20 1 time. 1 times 13 is going to be 13. When we subtract this, we get 7. Now we can add another 0 and drop it. Now the question is, how many times does 13 go into 70? 13 goes into 70 5 times. 5 times 13 is going to be 65. And if we subtract 70 by 65, we're going to get 5. And then once again, this is a good enough spot to stop. However, we can get a more specific answer by adding more zeros and continuing on. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you in the next one.